5 NBA titles, 2 Olympic gold medals, 18 All-Star appearances, one of the most brilliant and most respected players in NBA history. And when we'd run into each other over the years, we'd laugh about that night that we first met. We'd laugh at all the good things that had happened since. And we'd laugh about how much fun it was to raise kids and all the stupid mistakes we made trying to figure out how to be good dads. And Kobe had 4 daughters, and I had 2 daughters. And today, he and one of his girls are gone. But I think I knew Kobe enough to know that he rose to any challenge by digging deeper and getting back to work. So let's honor Kobe, Gianna, and the other lives that were lost yesterday by following his example. Love your family, love your teammates, and outwork everyone else in the gym.
Everything changed in a second. And that's what I want to talk about. Life is short and it's fragile. And we don't know how many birthdays we have. So we don't have to have a birthday to celebrate. Just celebrate life. And if you haven't told someone you love them, do it now. Do it. Tell people you love them. Call your friends, text your friends, hug them, kiss them.
I had many conversations with Kobe off of television, and they always involved his daughters, always. Once he retired from basketball, his life revolved around their lives. He was very proud of them. He loved being a father. He loved his family. He worked very hard, and he brought a lot of joy to a lot of people in the city, and we're going to miss him. This was a terrible loss for those families and for the Lakers, for Kobe's teammates, for his fans. It's just, there's no silver lining here. It's all bad. It's all sad. He was a bright light, and that's how I want to remember him.
Hey, this is the franchise Shane Douglas, ECW's original World Heavyweight Champion. Right now, you're watching the #1 wrestling podcast on all of Long Island, Monty and the Pharaoh.
Monty and the Pharaoh. Monty and the Pharaoh.
The Monty and Pharaoh Show.
And you're watching the Monty and Pharaoh Show.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
With Monty and the Pharaoh.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
Monty and the Pharaoh. Monty and the Pharaoh.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
Monty and Pharaoh.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
And Monty and the Pharaoh. Oh, is it Monty and the Pharaoh?
Monty and Pharaoh.
The Monty and the Pharaoh Show.
Monty and the Pharaoh. To the Monty and the Pharaoh Show. And it's Monty and the Pharaoh, baby.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
With Monty and the Pharaoh. Monty and the Pharaoh. Oh, what a run.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
Hey, cut the fucking music. When you want the best in professional wrestling, Long Island, there's only one place you're going to get it, right here.
Monty and the Pharaoh. Now, that's not just the coolest, and that's not just the best. That, my friends, is just incredible. Monty and the Pharaoh.
You've got the future Hall of Famer, that rocker, Marty Jannetty, and MJ in the house, and I'm sitting here with 2 more future Hall of Famers, Monty and the Pharaoh. We're doing that stuff, and we're going to rock it.
Not just dreaming it, we're doing it for it. Straight to the top. Working hard every day just to leave out that tower.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monty and the Pharaoh, seen only here out of Village Connection Radio, or what are we calling it nowadays? Did they change it? I think Jim wants to change the name of the station. Village Connection Network. There you go. Straight out of Village Connection Network.
That's where we are.
I got to get you the memo, Farrell.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get the memo either.
And you're the station manager.
Yeah,
Does it come with coffee?
Well, if you answer the phone.
Yeah.
Live
or if you pick up the phone.
Live out of Rockstar Studio Scene here every Thursday from 8:05 to 9 p.m. And also seen from on cable channel 115 from 8:30 to 9 p.m. every Tuesday, and Saturday from 6 a.m. to 6:30 on channel 115, and soon to be on channel 20. Farrow, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
You could also hear Monty and the Farrow, Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast on Anchor, Google Play, Spotify, Breaker, and see our YouTube channel on demand. And most recently, we've been added to the Fox affiliate station, RTF Sports Network, where we could be heard every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. But, gents, very sad weekend last weekend, and we're on later on in the week. But as we mentioned, the great Kobe Bryant and his daughter and 7 other people passed away in a tragic helicopter accident. You guys want to weigh in?
Farrell.
Shock. Athletes are to me very special. Depends on the athlete, of course. You know, so I've actually read some negative stuff too regarding him. You know, he was just a basketball player. Blah blah blah. Okay, fine. Total shock. I weigh it in with the kind of shock level I felt being a Yankee fan when Thurman Munson's plane crashed. I was at the studio when I got the news. I was standing outside, and Bart came out with a very blank look and said, Kobe Bryant just died in a helicopter crash. And what was bizarre was I was so shocked I felt nothing. I was like, what? You know, just like a black void of what?
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, when I moved out here to the island in '79, and I hadn't met you yet. Because I was basically thrown into junior high and didn't know anybody, my best buddy was my own basketball hoop. I had never had one, and the new house had a basketball hoop. Because the Knicks stunk at the time, Magic and Larry had just been drafted, so I loved Magic Johnson. I loved the Lakers. I wound up, of course, loving Kobe Bryant as a player, and we know how great he was as a player. I can't stand the fact that his daughter was on board with him. That completely destroys me. It takes it to a whole nother level. It's horrible, man. Mil?
Anytime young people die needlessly, it's a shame. It's just a shame.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it. It just is. It just is.
You know, the one thing I don't get that bothers me the most is, look, I'm an ex-military person. I defended this country. I've got 2 combat tours. Athletes are special.
Yes,
I think
they
are.
Well, maybe not just athletes, but you have actors that are special.
Sure.
Or maybe you have politicians that are special.
Sure.
Right?
That's fair. All walks of life.
We happen to live in a life where maybe certain people mean more than other people. Now, I'm not
to others.
I'm not downgrading military guys who that had a helicopter crash and they all passed away. Right. I mean, that's terrible.
Right.
But when you lose an icon like Kobe Bryant,
right,
it still means a lot.
Right. We live in a society where there's icons that from all different walks of life, like you just said, whether it's an actor or an athlete. In this case, it's an athlete. Kobe Bryant was at one of the 3 to 5 greatest players of our lifetime. We're talking half a century of basketball for us.
I think so.
Yeah, he's in the top 5 probably. What an amazing basketball player.
From what I understand, they should have went up in that helicopter. There
Really,
was fog,
man?
and there was some issues.
Well, I had heard the police department even had grounded their own helicopters. That's what I heard on the news.
Well, there was a guy I was listening to on the radio who actually was saying he works for, medics, those emergency helicopters.
Yes.
And they get grounded quite often.
Really?
So people are dying, and they don't go up in the air.
Right.
It's like, nope, we got to drive. Again, doesn't make the situation any better.
Right. I'm not a fan of air travel. You know that. I can't take it. As a musician, how many guys have gone down in a plane? Ugh. As loving the Yankees, Thurman is.
Well, wait a minute.
I don't like flying.
I understand.
I don't think it's safe.
But think about that. You just said how many guys have gone down. Really, not a lot.
What? Buddy Holly doesn't count. course
Okay,
he counts.
first of all, that was the 50s.
Didn't Randy
the
die?
50s.
Randy Rhodes die in a plane crash?
Yeah.
He was flying the
Okay,
plane
but it's
himself.
still not.
If you're smoking weed and flying your plane, it doesn't
smoking
work together.
weed. Here we go. He throws weed in.
Yo, bro, let's fire a
Randy
plane.
Rhodes was straight as a pin. He wasn't smoking
He
weed.
crashed into a house, Randy Rhodes. I mean,
Would you leave him alone? Oh, God.
That is true. He did crash into a house.
You know, didn't
dude.
Stevie Ray die in a crash?
Helicopter.
Yes, he did.
Come on, man. I don't like them. They're not safe. Otis Redding.
Munson
Thank you.
flying his own plane.
Stop it already.
flying his own plane.
Flying his own plane.
Did you capture a lousy pilot? Is that what you're getting at?
Oh my God, I didn't say
What
that.
are you getting at?
Well, maybe.
Anyway. I won't
But anyway,
say.
rest.
What's with the look, by the way, this week? I kind of
I
like
like
it.
it.
I kind of like it.
It's
yeah.
you know what it is? It's
What-
intimidating.
It's
Is
called,
that
it's
what
called
it
the
is?
Hannibal.
What are you,
Hannibal.
Tupac no more?
No.
What?
That's pretty funny. You come with these bad
No,
jokes.
I think of them the second
Just on the spot.
The second I see the bad joke, I make a bad
This is
joke.
called
What?
the Hannibal look.
That's the Hannibal,
Hannibal
look.
look.
Really?
And if anyone doesn't know
Hannibal,
Hannibal,
like
then
Hannibal, perhaps?
Hannibal's one of those podcasters, one of those wrestling guys.
I thought it was the dude from Silence of the Lambs.
Wait, I got a
Getting
point to
very
make.
confused.
I don't want you
Go
guys
ahead,
to
make
weigh
your
in,
point.
right?
Go ahead.
The guy's a very successful podcaster, makes his living off of talking about wrestling.
Yeah.
But openly admits he hates watching wrestling.
Wow, that's weird.
Does that make any sense?
That's
No.
weird.
No.
All right, whatever.
Oh, maybe stick with a show that watches wrestling. I don't know. Just saying.
I might want to. I don't know.
Anyway, I want to thank the band Aqua Cherry, who sings the M&P theme song. Aqua Cherry music can be heard and purchased on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Reverb Nation, and where music is sold. Vocalist Chad White, guitarist Zach Benedict, bassist Stu Suchik, and I hope I'm not hacking up their names. I'm sure that I am. They're actually playing tomorrow out of the Peddler's Daughter in Nashua, New Hampshire. I am pronouncing Nashua.
Nashua, yes.
Yeah, I am correct.
New Hampshire.
I'm getting better as we go.
New Hampshire.
I also want to recognize Wisteria Hall, our second band who has our theme song with our
Second
own.
band? Now, hold on.
No, it's not second best band.
Like second band.
It's not second best
By the
band.
way, other band.
Oh my
crap.
God.
Holy. Go on. He's recognizing us.
Our own Jimmy Farrell and Bart Griggs, their new single "Riding High," which to be featured on the new album in 2020,
2040.
and our
2040.
our theme song "In My Dreams," "This Life," which is one of my favorite songs. If you want to go kill yourself, listen to that song.
There you go. It's on iPod.
Yeah,
There you go.
when you really feel like shit, put that on and make you feel even shittier. It's a great
right.
song, but
It's a little depressing.
it drags you like it.
Takes
You
you
think
down.
about your life, and you go, "Man, my life sucks."
I suck.
It's not the song; it's your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Am I saying this right?
It puts it
Yeah,
all
Am I
in-
being insulting? I'm
No,
not. I love
no.
that song.
The
I love it.
The song puts it in perspective.
Yes,
for you.
thank you.
It's like, wow,
when I watch it,
blow.
I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Like Black from Pearl Jam?
yeah, kinda. Yeah,
Kinda
very
like
good.
that, yeah.
Very good.
All right.
Not Far Behind, which is another one, and again,
That's chipper.
it is. But you know what's a sleeper song on that album, which I
What?
love very much. And by the way, they are all
is this the
iPod
Monty
worthy.
Picks, by the way?
Here comes the rain.
This is the Monty Picks?
It is the Monty
That's
Picks.
very interesting. Oh, okay.
Anyway, gentlemen, I want to talk about events that are coming up.
All right.
By the way, I got kicked off Facebook. I don't know.
What is going on?
I don't know, man.
Are we invisible? Are we
Every
erased?
time you know, well,
you erase
I think
us?
our page is erased.
What is going on here?
I don't know what to say,
Wow.
bro.
Holy do-over.
I got to go look and see what the hell's going on.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm trying not to get in that tech mode.
Yeah, please.
We have the Warlord who will be in studio on February 29th at 10 a.m. on Saturday. The Warlord, one half of the Powers of Pain, looking like
You
a
love them, right?
not really. Just being honest.
I fucking had to. Go on.
You know, if we have to put the Warlords, and I will say
Would
this
you
to him.
please? I like the Powers of Pain. I did.
If I have to put the, remember Warlord, Vince
Yeah.
tried to push him on his own.
Oh God, I barely remember.
Yeah, because guess what? The
it
guy has
didn't
no
work.
mic skills.
It didn't, oh, he didn't have a manager.
Dude, how are we going to interview the guy? What is it going to be? You going to ask him a
Oh,
question?
there's
He's gonna
plenty
say
to
something.
dude. He's got plenty to talk about. I'm sure.
All right.
But he didn't have a.
You say so.
Anyway, Saturday, February 29th, see us interview Warlord as Mike goes, What the fuck are we going to ask this guy? Anyway, that's unbelievable. This is a promo. Yeah, come on, tune in.
Tune in.
What the fuck? We watch wrestling. Tune in. I can't anymore. What do you got on March 6th, Mike? What does that say?
March 6th, none other than Hall of Famer Jake the Snake Roberts.
Dude, that's
now.
awesome.
That is going to be sick. Miller, are you producing that show?
Is he going to have the snake with him?
I don't know, man.
If he does, I'm leaving.
I know.
We should have. What?
I
Well,
can't.
I said you were going to leave.
I'm afraid of animals.
We should have booked him with Morella so we could bring the Cobra. We could have had
The Cobra against the Snake?
Yeah, that would have been
not bad.
That would have been dumb as hell. Sorry, go on.
Mr. Hughes on March 7th will be in on Saturday.
That's fairly recent.
It is fairly recent.
When did that happen? How did that happen? Is that ESS again?
That is ESS.
All right, very good. What
And
else
then
got?
we have Tony Atlas and our own Sunny Beach
Sunny
will be at the big event. And then also on March
Hold on a
7th.
second.
Am I mixing it up there, bro?
Yeah, you mixed it
Because
up
guess
a little bit on
what?
me.
My pictures on what I'm looking are all jacked up, so it's not your fault. It's my fault.
That's all right. I'm caught up. We got Tony Atlas.
So
and
if I
Sonny
went to
B.
the script, it probably would have been smarter, right?
That's all right.
Because I'm an idiot. Then we have Greg Gagne on March 7th with the Killer Bees.
Right.
And everybody who watches the Monty and the Pharaoh shows knows that the Pharaoh is not a big fan
is so not
of Greg Gagne.
He should have won Wimbledon at least 5 times. Go on.
Wimbledon.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, tennis legs.
Tennis legs.
Oh, okay.
Would you
I didn't
forget
know
already?
that.
Continuity, Miller. Come on.
Sorry.
Continuity.
Well, you're the one who keeps bringing it up that I'm like, parallel him to McEnroe.
What's next after that one?
And then on April 19th, but this date may change, but it's really big, the Rock and Roll Express will be in studio
Robert
with
Gibson
Larry
was gonna-
Zabisco.
Robert Gibson was going to call you.
Larry Zabisco's back.
Larry
You
Zabisco
smoke
was
some
one,
cigarettes
was
with
one
him.
of the
Smoke some cigarettes. Those reservation cigarettes? Leave
American
them alone.
Spirit.
Hey, those are expensive.
American
those are not
Spirit.
cheap cigarettes. American Spirit. And they're good, too.
Oh, my God.
But, I don't know if, Robert Gibson tried to call you back, but he couldn't find his phone. It was, he was like, where's the phone? After we ran into the ring post over that stipulation you had from last week.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you love Robert Gibson, don't you?
I do love
You're a
Robert
big- you're a
Gibson.
big fan
I've
of
always
those
been a
guys.
big fan of
He's
Robert
a big
Gibson.
fan of the Rock and Roll Express.
I'm a huge guy on
No, he's not.
But if, we really want
He's
to...
lying. What are you doing, Technical Tom?
I'm fucking up. I'm so sorry. Anyway, before we go to commercial break, I just want to give the fans out there something to keep their minds together. A little picture of our friend Mandy Rose.
Oh, dear Lord, what do you got?
Let's all take a quick
What do you
8-second
got,
break
Hey.
as we're.
8 seconds isn't long enough to look at Mandy. What's wrong with you?
It's long enough for me, pal.
Wow. Get a napkin.
All right, we're going to take a short commercial break. Perfect. Hey, our page is back. I recovered. High five. Now I'm back. Yes.
Hoo-ha, hoo-ha,
Facebook, you're so mean to me.
What?
So anyway, with all the wrestling things that have gone on, Farrell, the most important thing I could think of, the Bellas are both pregnant at the same time.
Energized you get when you get the Facebook page back.
I feel better.
Dude, it's like he had 7 cups of coffee. And by the way, the Bellas are pregnant at the same time, huh? How the heck? Well, we know how the heck.
Before we get into that, both of you and I are like twins, right? We kind of are like
We're
the Bellas.
twins?
We're kind of like the Bellas.
How the hell are we? We're like the Bellas?
So, ladies and gentlemen,
We're like the Bellas.
There's a standard rule on
Look at
my
our bellies. What are you talking about? This is bad.
There's a standard rule on Monty the Pharaoh. I call
there's a
Jimmy
couple.
Farrow 4 times on a Thursday.
can't believe you
If he
did it.
picks up once, the only thing that's said to him is coffee. He says yes. I hang up the
You
phone.
don't do that.
Okay?
That's a
so
lie.
here's the
First of all,
situation.
he doesn't do that.
If he doesn't pick
That
up,
is a lie.
Farrow gets
He
punished.
does call me, but he doesn't do that.
So I
I
want
do
people
get
to weigh. I want
punished.
people to weigh in there.
Shit.
If Farrow, if
This
you
is
don't
just
follow the
not
rules,
right.
you shouldn't get coffee.
Rules
Thoughts?
for coffee?
No coffee.
Over friends? I called you back. You didn't pick up. I don't get coffee? Whatever. Who cares? You're crazy. You want the fans to weigh in on? Please don't weigh in on that. You guys got more important things to weigh in on. Good God. I deserve my coffee if I'm such a big
do.
star like
You
you
are a
say
star.
I am.
You are a star.
You know, I'm sorry in my dreams depresses you, but I deserve it.
Oh my God, I'm never going to live this one down
you
either,
will. You
Miller.
will. I'll forget by tomorrow.
No,
I can't remember what
probably
happened
not.
this morning. Don't worry about it. All right, so
Probably not.
we did a commercial break.
He says probably not.
Miller knows me by
Probably
now.
not. You know the Farrell better than anybody.
Of course, yeah, me and Farrell.
Farrell will hold on to like a friggin'
All of
pitbull.
a sudden, what is this, double shovel? What
Listen,
the hell
so
is this?
guys,
Go on.
weigh in. The Bellas pregnant at the same time.
Yeah, what do you think about them?
I don't know. I think that's magical.
Do you know? Do you know? My first thought was
Same guy.
I felt bad for John Cena.
Yeah, but the other guy's
Why?
a dancer.
Because she left him for that dancer.
Yeah, he's a romancer.
She left Cena. Do you imagine? Seriously, you think living with John Cena must be pretty difficult?
Dude, the fork has to be at 3 o'clock.
Yes.
I'm not living with that.
No.
Take your shoes off in the house.
Oh,
Nope.
it's a wackadoo.
Done.
No, I've
The
heard
minute
I've heard-
the rules go down like
leave.
that.
Respect would always put a coaster.
Yeah, but what
No.
about her too? I wouldn't want to be with her either. As a person, way man, she's too materialistic, superficial.
You
crap,
think?
man.
Just
I
a little
can't.
bit?
I can't.
Hey, my sister's pregnant. I better get
I
have to
think
get pregnant
Bree's
now.
pretty cool. To me, it's a miracle. Bree and Daniel Bryan wound up together because they're kind of like normal.
Dude, Bree is too hot for her, that man. Anyway,
Again,
For
it's
Daniel Bryan?
It's strange that they wound up together, but hey, they're both
Yeah.
cool.
he doesn't even have a TV
seem
in his
cool.
house. What kind of man doesn't have a TV?
He doesn't have a TV
He's not
in
into
the
that.
house.
He's not into anything.
That's ridiculous.
He just wants to
Annoying.
chop wood and be out in the woods.
Hey, so you weren't here last week, but
I
I
was
want to
not.
recognize a legend in pro wrestling.
Legend?
Our very own Jimmy Farrell, who once again was on the money with his Royal Rumble picks.
Thank you. Yeah, red hot except for one, only one. We nailed them all except for I was so positive.
Well, I didn't nail anything, my friend. You
I
nailed
was so
everything.
positive Ronda was going to come back that I didn't think about Charlotte. If I had thought about Charlotte, I would have picked Charlotte, to be very honest. But thank you. Yeah, Royal Rumble seemed to be my thing. You know, WrestleMania last year was an ass whooping.
Yeah, it was.
I had the nerve to go 8-5. I hated myself for like weeks. I was like, oh God. But in general, Royal Rumble's pretty good. I love this Royal Rumble. I thought this was a great week for the WWE.
Well, first of all, why did you? What made you love the Royal Rumble so much?
I loved Brock Lesnar's performance, and it was really truly the tale of two Rumbles wrapped in one. Brock Lesnar's performance at the Royal Rumble this year was absolutely fantastic. I'll think about this one for a long time.
Without Brock Lesnar, that Royal Rumble is nothing.
Absolutely, and I thought it was great that they put him in there. He tied the record with Roman Reigns and Kane for 13 eliminations. He was incredible. We got to see matchups that I've always wanted to see. Certain guys who came in the ring and Lesnar dealt with them, and we got a little taste of that. Brock Lesnar, what an amazing performance. Nailed it when I said that whoever has the altercation and eliminates Brock Lesnar will be the man. It was Drew.
And you called it.
It was beautifully written. Drew deserves it. It's grown to this point maturely in the storyline. Thumbs up to the writing. This whole week.
Great storytelling.
Great storytelling.
People are tearing apart Raw a little bit,
excellent.
which I totally disagree with. But
Raw
I'll give
was
you
I
my
had
thoughts
no
about.
issue.
I'll give you my
No
thoughts
issue.
about
Not
the
this
Rumble.
week. Go on.
McIntyre Lesnar doesn't give me the chills.
I understand
okay?
it's not sexy, but I'm looking
hold
forward
on.
to it.
Here's my point. Mm-hmm. And this is the problem some of these wrestling experts I'll get into. We'll get into that in a minute. But
All right.
it's not about. Look, there's 40,000 people in Houston that were off unhinged.
They went nuts.
You know what?
Nuts when he kicked
All seriousness,
Lesnar out off
I
the
realized,
top.
you know
Nuts.
what? The WWE's playing to the masses. They don't really care what Monty from Monty and the Pharaoh
That's right.
doesn't like Drew McIntyre.
That's right.
And in the reality of it,
Right.
excuse me, the storyline was tremendous.
It was.
The match was tremendous.
I loved it.
So whether I like Drew McIntyre or not is irrelevant at this point, right?
I happen to like Drew McIntyre, and I'm thrilled with this. I thought this was great writing. He is big enough to take seriously with a big man like Brock Lesnar. It's beautifully written. The timing, the delivery of it, the moment. His face turn has been extremely, extremely successful so far. He's excellent on the mic. He's getting more confident by the day. He's grown to this point. He deserves it.
Well,
I love it.
Speaking of that,
I think
Pharaoh,
it's
that
great.
brings us to my favorite part of the show, the most annoying wrestling expert.
It's done again. It's done again.
Expert. They're back. They'll be back every week.
Oh, wonderful.
Well,
Go on.
Our annoying wrestling expert will be nameless. So I covered up his name to
Not
protect the
again.
innocent.
Not the crayon again.
Monty Nefaro will always protect the innocent.
Please, because I never see who this is until
Are you ready?
I go home and I see the crayon.
Gentlemen, the idea behind this is I'm going to read the most annoying wrestling expert's message, and I'm going to ask you to weigh in.
Okay.
Well, I have to give it WWE credit when it's due. I thought Royal Rumble was really a really good show. The Women's Rumble match was fantastic, despite the stupid appearance of Santino. And I was glad to see Drew McIntyre finally get the opportunity to main event at Mania.
Okay.
I rip them a lot, and deservedly so. But not tonight. I really enjoyed it. Fellas, you want to weigh in?
No. It's like, whatever.
funny.
You know what? You said it just
You liked it. Good.
You said it just a minute ago. The WWE plays to the masses, and most of the time they do it really, really well.
They do.
So these
They do.
cranky, I want to see 20 minutes of a hammerlock. You know, I don't get it anymore. It's passed you by. Leave it alone.
Well, I don't know who the person was. I saw someone on social media say that, oh, whoop-de-doo, they gave it to Drew McIntyre. Why not go off and give it to someone like Cesaro or someone else? And I'm thinking to myself, like, who wants to see Lesnar-Cesaro at WrestleMania?
Not
Or
me.
The Fiend Cesaro?
Not
I mean,
me.
really?
Cesaro?
Not
I
me.
don't get it. I mean, there's a nice mid-card guy, spins guys around, takes up some time, but where's the energy?
You know
where's
what
the
I-
excitement?
The thing that makes me laugh is usually people would be screaming. The WWE haters would be screaming for a guy like McIntyre to get his opportunity. He gets it, and they want someone else. Are you kidding me?
They're never
Drew
happy.
McIntyre has been an indie darling over the last 5 years. We saw him at the Lake Ronkonkoma Firehouse, taking the modest, humble road the whole way.
Right.
Goes to TNA, establishes the character that's kind of what we see today. Comes to NXT, Vince gives him another shot, goes through the ranks, mature storytelling, the growth process. The moment comes to Claymore, out goes Lesnar, main eventing WrestleMania. You got a problem with this? Really? Cesaro? And by the way, on a business level, we discussed that. Brock Lesnar versus Cesaro, main event of WrestleMania.
Right.
I'm returning my ticket. Are you kidding me? Who the F is coming to see that? Quite honestly.
Nobody.
Nobody. That's great business, man. You know, and it's not just about the business. It's about having a good matchup that the fans want. And the fans want Drew McIntyre.
Well, ladies and
Because
gentlemen,
the growth process has been awesome, and the fans are ready, and they've said so. So here
I
you go.
hate to break it to wrestling fans, but Vince McMahon kind of knows what he's doing,
Do you
and so
think?
does Triple H.
You-
and
oh,
it's
you
like,
think? No.
where do you rank this Royal Rumble?
This was a really good one. I haven't sat down and thought about all of them, but I would say it's in the it's up there. It was a really good one. Really, really good. If I had to say, put it on a 4-star level, 3 out of 4 being good for it, it's at least 3.5. It was very good. Very good. 3.5.
I got to
The
tell
Rumble
you,
match itself, excellent.
I
Loved
think
it.
I think both the women's and the men's.
Did you like the women's?
The women's was good. It wasn't the best. It was good. You know, it was good.
That was all right.
Listen,
That was all right.
Beth Phoenix breaking her skull open, going all the way with blood pouring from
Rough
her head.
weekend
right?
for that couple.
Oh, you ain't kidding. But
It's tough in the Copeland house. Ow.
that being said, I got to
Yeah.
tell you, I was happy to see that they're going to push Charlotte. But
How about Edge coming back in the Royal Rumble?
Yeah,
Can we
we'll-
talk a little magic
we'll-
there,
we'll
too?
talk- we'll talk about
All right,
that
we'll
later.
get there. Fair enough.
all right, we're
what
going
do
to
you
take.
got next?
Well, right now we're going to take a quick commercial break.
Very good.
All right. Ex-WCW star Van Hammer arrested for DUI, allegedly hitting a 5-year-old with a car.
Come on now.
A handcuffed Hildreth appeared before a judge on Monday morning, where he was officially charged with first-degree felony of hit and run and DUI. During his court appearance, officials point out 2 previous DUI arrests for Hildreth's record. The judge did set bail at $125,000 and asked him to play 2 songs, Running with the Devil and Panama. Your thoughts?
That's not on here. What the fuck? This is not Van Halen. This is Van Hammer from WCW. He didn't do Running with the Devil. Well, you know what? At least you picked 2 good songs.
I did, right?
I thought you were going to pick something terrible from that third singer. What was it? The guy from Extreme or whatever it was? The third Van
Van
Yeah,
Halen
no, the
singer.
third Van Halen was
Then
awful.
who was the third guy? Gary Sharon. Oh no! Oh no!
Weigh in on Van Hammer,
How am
bro.
I supposed to answer that? This is awful, by the way.
It
this
is
Van
awful.
Hammer thing, and he's got 2 previous ones.
Right.
This is so.
Give me your thoughts on that.
Oh my God! Do I have to? What are we supposed to do about something like Mr. Miller?
Yes.
You obviously know about legal stuff
In a way.
If the guy had 2 previous DUI arrests,
He's going to jail.
Okay, but do you ever give him his license back
No.
after the set? Why does he have a license to even get back out there and hit a 5-year-old? This is awful.
Was it in Florida?
Oh, here we go. You're
More than
probably
likely.
right.
Yeah, it's probably Florida.
They all live in Florida now, right?
What is
I will say the guy
Florida?
does have a job, though. It's not like he's
Well, that's-
living on the streets.
Okay.
Yeah, he has a car, obviously.
Yeah, he has a car.
Bashing down
What are your
preschoolers.
thoughts
Yeah.
on this? You don't want to put this here. I would never even talk about
What
this.
are my thoughts? My
Yeah, what
thoughts
do you-
are,
Go
it's,
on.
you know,
Time to go to jail, dude.
go get help, bro.
Yeah.
Go get help.
Go get help, bro.
Girl's dead.
Learn not to get behind the wheel when you drink, bro.
There you go, bro.
You know, God, people, everybody's put rules in place a long time ago, right? You don't kill people. You don't sexually molest children. You don't rape women. You don't rape men. You don't steal.
You pick up the
Right?
phone when Monty's calling you. You don't get coffee.
Oh, you don't get coffee. That's rule number
There's
5.
rules.
But these are the rules. And one of them is if you like to partake in the drink,
Take an Uber.
don't take an Uber, bro.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Wow. Very bad.
It's not hard at all.
And I understand people have addictions. I totally get it.
Does
Totally get
this
it.
mean that Van Hammer loses his Vegas show?
Well, he has a Vegas show?
Yeah.
What was that? David Lee Roth? David V. Van Hammer?
He's just a gigolo.
By the way, that guy was a shitty wrestler anyway.
Was he?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
You remember him, dude.
There.
He was in like the early
he was
90s
just-
WCW.
Late 90s.
Was it late
Yeah.
90s?
Was he doing the Monday
But
Night
like,
Wars?
no, he wasn't.
He was there?
No, but
Van
he was
Hammer.
part of the flock back then, right?
No, Van Hammer was just there, man. He was.
All right, well, let's talk about another problem. Andrade suspended for the WWE wellness policy. WWE has suspended Andrade, otherwise known as Manuel Oropeza, for 30 days, effectively immediately, for first violation of the company's talent wellness policy.
You know, do you remember the day that he got suspended? The news broke later, in the late afternoon. I talked to you that morning, and you were, Andrade, man. Andrade's freaking pumped, bro. Yo, man, you seen him lately? He's fucking huge. Next thing you know, Andrade's suspended for juicing. I'm like, when? You're right. The guy was bigger than ever.
Do they keep the U.S. title on him?
I think they're gonna.
I would.
That's why Umberto, like you called me up, Umberto's dumping him on the cement.
Yes.
Oh my God, on the cement. You were like Moro, Ronaldo, Monty. Oh my God. I'm like, what's going on? Oh, he's a nasty face, this kid. He's a nasty face. He's dumping him on the cement.
Oh, my God.
For the love of God, Mamma Mia.
So Miller,
Anyway.
Andrade's in a feud with this face. What's his name?
Umberto Carrillo.
Alberto Carrillo.
Humberto Carrillo.
So Carrillo's this good-looking kid, but he's so annoying looking that you hate him. I hate him.
You hate him.
And he used to wear this outfit that you really wanted.
Why
to hate
did
him.
you like that stupid outfit?
Because it was so annoying, you wanted to kill him. But anyway, he's been feuding with Andrade, and Andrade's been beating him. So this night on Monday Night Raw, this is before we knew about the suspension.
Right.
He's about to pin Andrade for the U.S. title, and Selena Vega comes in and causes a DQ.
Right.
So instead, he gets angry as a face,
kid.
takes the mat off, and pretty much
Dumps him on
spikes
the cement.
Andrade's head into
his
the
head.
cement and leaves him for dead.
Yeah.
So I'm like, holy shit, this is
Little
a
did we
big time
realize
face.
that's going to keep him out for 30 days because of his suspension.
Well, for his medical
Oh
suspension.
my God, he's really hurt. Yeah, you're suspended. Hilarious.
That's phenomenal. God bless them.
Do you think part of the reason is because of Charlotte Flair's got a lot of heat there, and like not heat, but a lot of push,
Yeah,
and a lot of pull, and
who knows? I don't know. He was NXT champion before he was dating Charlotte, so I think that they do have some respect for him as his potential. So hard to say.
So you called me up and you said, "Hey man, did you catch NWA Power?" And I'm like, "You hate NWA Power,"
No,
and you're like, "Hey
lately,
man,
but
it's
I like-
pretty good."
I like this week. Did you see it?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Did you
So tell
watch the sit down?
Yes, tell me your thoughts on it.
I love the sit down. I love stuff like that. It got personal, and it felt real. And what about the stipulation?
I
I've
loved
never
it.
heard a stipulation. Has that happened before? If it
So
has,
there's
forgive me.
Okay, so there's
But-
podcasters out there
Yeah.
that claim that Jerry Lawler did this before.
Okay.
I did not check their information.
Okay.
I will tell you, when I first saw it, I'm like you,
Still
and
love
I'm
it.
a wrestling fan like you, and an older wrestling fan.
Yeah.
And I believed when I first heard it, this might be the first time I heard the stipulation. Again, I could be wrong. I didn't check. I will tell you, I found the stipulation intriguing and totally interesting.
Right.
And I thought Marty Scurll actually did a great job not answering because all of a sudden it was real and he realized I might have to pay the entire arena if I lose my match for the NWA title.
Right.
So if you could tell the people who have not seen NWA Power what went on between champion Nick Aldis, who, by the way, is really winning me over.
He's
big
excellent.
time.
This is kind of the Nick Aldis that was presented as TNA champion, and I liked him very much as the British heel. I thought he was excellent there, so he's showing some of that here too. Him and Marty apparently are friends behind the scene, and Marty's never received. Marty's kind of like right now on an independent level carrying the Piper tag, as far as he's never had a world title, and he should. Do you remember when we were at the big event and we saw him and I pointed to him and I said, "Here's a guy."
I don't remember.
I was like, "Dude, you see that guy right there?" I'm like, "That's a guy Vince McMahon needs to get." Because Marty Scurll is, I'm sorry, he plays big. He plays very big. Marty Scurll is a fantastic villain. That's what he calls himself anyway, the villain. He's tremendous. He only makes Nick Aldis more interesting in a program because he's the more interesting character to me. He's a true character. They're going to have a great match. I really did like this angle. If it's been used in the past, what are we talking, 40 years ago probably? If you're going back that far, that's a good...
Well, can you explain to Miller what the deal is, what they were talking about?
Aldis is irritated that Marty has come to NWA and wants his world title. He understands why he wants it because he's never had it.
Okay.
But he made a stipulation and he said, "Well, we'll do things on my terms. I'll give you a title shot. However, since you always say it's not about money and that you just want the shot to be the world champion, if you lose, you have to refund every single ticket in that audience that night." You know, and it was great how they ended it, like you said, because Marty was just staring into space, like, "Do I really want to do this?"
So,
good angle.
I was thinking about Aldis, who's a really big guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's playing almost a Flairish role, different, somewhat, but
some ways.
Right. Got the suit, carrying the gold.
Yes.
Got his little entourage.
Yes.
I like the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, would Aldis work out in AEW or the WWE? And I'll just give you my point, and you could disagree or agree. Mm-hmm. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
But when you make it to the big time, he's not that big of a guy. It's like he's a huge guy for the NWA Power, but if he gets against a guy like Andrade, for example, he's just another guy.
I've seen Aldis in the ring. He's fine. He's a fine size. Whether or not he would translate to a world champion would depend heavily on booking, to be very honest. Do I think he's world championship material? Possibly. I would put him in NXT first and see how it went there. Something tells me he's NXT championship level worthy, that's for sure. That's how I feel about that.
Well, but, I'm gonna say something else to you, Farrell. I was thinking about that. And I always remember back in the day when Flair was in NWA or Georgia Championship Wrestling when he worked under the Crockett's.
Yeah.
And the story went on that the WWE actually almost had him a few times, way before he eventually ended up going there.
Finally.
Right? And it was because he had such a loyalty to the brand and his friends. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, like, would Aldis, because Aldis is the player, would he do that to NWA Power?
There's one factor you're not weighing in on that I do think does ultimately matter if he ever winds up with Vince.
Right.
Mickie James.
What does that mean?
What do you mean, what does that mean? Mickie James. She came back to the company, didn't
Okay.
she?
Yeah.
Aren't they like, don't they like live together and stuff at this point, or did I miss something? Aren't they like married and stuff?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so I think what would happen is that if all this ever did eventually somehow wind up with Vince, I think that Mickie would have something to do with that. They'd probably reach out to Mickie and say, "How does your husband?" Because I don't think he's too big on them. He's been pretty critical of WWE. So I wonder.
Has he really?
Yeah, I don't recall him doing backflips for them. He's certainly never begged for a job either, that's for sure. He's one of the top independent guys. I would definitely want him if I was Vince.
I think he'd do great in NXT. Why not? McIntyre came back and went through there. So many others have. It's worked for so many others that have gotten to that certain level in the independents, and he certainly has.
Listen, bro, but the thing...
You like him now, huh? Very interesting.
Yeah, I'm very
I always found him boring when they called him Magnus in TNA.
Magnus I didn't like.
But then they made him... They put the suit on him in TNA. This is when I started liking him, the suit. Sure. And he became the arrogant British champion, and he had his little clique. It was beautiful, and that's what they're doing here.
I think they make a mistake too, and maybe it's Mickey James just doesn't want to do it, but I don't know why they don't put him with Mickey James.
I know.
Also.
I don't think she wants to burn her bridges with Vince. That's pretty obvious.
Why you think NWA Power really, like Vince, really takes that seriously?
I think Vince takes everything seriously.
Well, that's a really good point. Maybe
I think he does.
Maybe that's the way you should be, right? Stomp
Dude,
everybody.
I think you're
doesn't
similar
matter.
to that. You don't care what level it is. If somebody claims to have loyalty to us and then dances even a slight step with someone that you're like, what are you effing doing?
This is true. You show up on my show and then you decide, and I mean, when I say my show, I mean our show.
Okay,
don't take it the wrong way.
Fair enough.
Let me finish. You show up on. You're a regular guest. You're a regular guest on. You're a regular guest on our show, and then you decide you're going to do somebody else's podcast. Well, yeah.
What was wow.
I don't know, man. I don't look at it nicely.
Wow.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, huh? And we're back.
Can we get KFC after this?
How did I know something was coming out from you on that? If you have money.
Jerk. Go on.
One thing I did notice that you didn't bring up about NWA Power.
What's that?
Into the Fire, no longer the theme song.
What is the theme song?
I don't know. They just had no theme song.
They had no theme song. That's terrible.
And it ended with no theme song.
Wow.
Well, it ended with something.
You know what happened? Don Dokken turned into the dick he's known to be. He probably found out.
Give me my
royalty.
Residuals
Dude, Don
now.
Dokken is legendarily known to be a douchebag.
What a
Give me
douche.
my $11 royalty, you wrestling prick. I bet you George Lynch called him too. Like, what'd you do, you dick? They were giving us exposure. I can see it
Wait a
now.
minute, hold on. I want to really...
What?
Let me hear that voice. What's Don Dokken sound like? Let me hear it, Miller.
Give me my $11 royalty, you bastards. You bastard. Give me my royalty.
Don't you know I'm Don Dokken? Under lock and key. No one's listened to my album in 23 years.
Leave Lock and Key alone.
I was in
It's
some
22
bill at
years.
Ozfest in 1988.
I was at Ozfest. Don't you know that I'm the Dokken of Dokkens?
Don Dokken.
Oh my God.
I believe your daily lies. You just got lucky. I've been hypnotized.
That's actually better than Dokken.
That is so lame, and we liked it.
But
put us through a table.
But that's actually better than the Dokken version.
Hold on. How about the best? The best Dokken. Talk about Dokken. Sell it out.
What?
We're the
I hated it.
dream
I almost walked out of the theater.
Don't want to
I almost walked out of Dude, that is fucking so bad.
All right,
Wait a minute. What about the sappy one? Tried so hard to make you see.
Oh, nice.
Oh, is that-
I'm alone again without you. Oh my yeah! Oh, Don Dokken.
Well, anyway,
Not
we
rocking.
can't have a show
Not
without
rocking.
mentioning the
What?
minor leagues of professional wrestling.
What?
And
What?
AEW
The
was
what?
on. And guess what?
What?
They usually do a replay afterwards, but I guess they were afraid that they couldn't beat the Miz and Mrs. show as they didn't do the replay.
No
So for
competition.
all you wrestling fans out there, go AEW, they're afraid of the Miz and Mrs. Why waste the programming because no one's going to watch us?
That's
They're-
right.
They're
Right.
They're going to go
I
hang out
agree.
with Marlise and check that smoking
Right.
body out.
And oddly enough, my DVR is set for my wife for Ms. and
I don't
Mrs.
blame you, bro.
She never misses an episode of Ms. and Mrs.
Let me tell you something.
A billion people watch Ms. and Mrs.
I got to get alone time, and it ain't going to be with Moxley, that's for sure.
on a boat.
On a boat.
On a boat.
Or a fucking, what's his name? Jungle Boy.
Oi. On a boat.
On a boat.
Oh, bloop.
Or what's the other guy?
Into the pool.
Oh, that
What?
little dwarf, what's his name? whatever,
Marco
man.
Punt?
Marco Punt, yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Who the hell's
Super
Marco
Bowl.
Punt?
But
It's
you know,
Marco Stunt.
I'm just trying to be funny.
Oh,
but I
I
will
don't
tell you
know.
something
Try?
I did enjoy. Britt Baker attacks Jim Ross on this week's
What?
episode.
Wow, what was that? I actually heard.
So I'm going to read a couple things she says, and there's nothing better than making fun of people's teeth. I got to tell you.
Well, wait a minute. I hope you got that right about the Shivani thing. Oh my God, she destroyed Shivani
when she
too.
says,
She's
"I'm
like,
a professional,"
and I can tell that you have serious gingivitis.
How great
wow.
was that?
You might want to try brushing those teeth. I was like, holy crap! Oh, boy,
How about this one? Ready?
Okay.
Baker says to Ross, "I know you know that I'm a dentist because that's all you talk about when I'm in the ring. Yeah, you sit there all smug and pretentious in judgment of my division. I guess the women's division.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Of my generation. You sit there each week and collect a very large paycheck while we all do the work. Be the legend I grew up on, Jim, not a sloppy barbecue sauce sales rep who can't even get the names on the rosters straight."
Wow, that's rough.
Dude,
I was laughing.
I was off the hook.
Yeah, I was like,
Britt
wow.
Baker,
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
Oh, I liked it.
That's some great writing.
That was awesome.
And then she turns to Shivani.
Kill
And, she
Shivani!
goes, and by the way, Tony,
Your gingivitis level is exceeded, man. I can smell you.
she's like,
oh, my
try
God.
using a toothbrush.
Oh,
I was like,
that was great.
damned.
Oh, she
and then he
destroyed
starts
them.
smelling his breath, which that's what people usually do when people say you got bad breath, right?
That was excellent.
There's nothing better than
That was excellent.
bad breath humor.
You didn't like the eye patch on Moxley?
Oh my God, please.
Yeah,
I'm so
Moxley.
done.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so you wanted to talk about, I'm going to ask you to weigh in on Edge, but I actually cut some video for you. You'll watch when you get home. But
Okay.
this is why I love wrestling. It's not over, dude.
Dude, it just went back.
It is
No.
now. You're back
What do you mean?
on.
Are you kidding?
Speak to the crowd.
Dude, it's a long video.
Oh my god! 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 What? 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 Go! Yo! I got that!
Styles as well. Who's it gonna be?
Oh my
We're back.
And that was my glitch for the night. Sorry,
It's
boys.
all right. That's why we could cut tape.
Oh, that was beautiful.
So that is why
that was beautiful.
I grew up
Yeah.
after meeting you
Yeah,
loving
man.
wrestling.
Yeah, man.
You know,
I told you I jumped out of my chair when Edge came out. I told you that. Yeah, call me what you want. Wow, holy mark-out moment.
So that's one thing I love about you,
I went
Pharaoh.
nuts.
Like, your love for it is still there.
I
love it.
so-
Don't get me wrong. But I actually love the passion of a fan. Like, there's the girl and that guy crying. You know, some people might be like, "Oh, that's stupid, sappy." No, man. When you love something that much,
What did I say to you? I said that maybe that young couple, the last time they saw Edge was 9 years ago. Maybe they were 12 the last time they saw him. They
Right.
think about a childhood memory.
Yeah.
They see Edge. They think about the time they played with their friends at the park, and that was the night they saw the match, or whatever it is. The Edge returning got me very emotional. That was fantastic. It's a real life story. 9 years. An injury. I never thought we'd see him again. And by the way, when he left, that was heartbreaking when he left. His speech was heartbreaking. He didn't want to stop wrestling. He didn't, you know. Wow, we just got back a real legend.
Well,
we got him back, too.
I do.
He's gonna
I
be
want
working.
to. I
This
actually
is
want to take
awesome.
credit because I hadn't seen Jimmy for a long time, and I guess he had called the house.
2006.
He had called the house, and I hadn't seen him in
long time,
like 10-something
Probably
years,
about
right?
10 years. Yeah, probably.
So my wife's like, Jimmy called, and I'm
Right.
like, Jimmy. She's like, Jimmy Farrow, right?
Yep.
So I get on the phone and I invite him over for dinner.
Yep.
Now at the time I was watching wrestling, but
Right.
I wasn't super big into it. But I was like into Cena and stuff like that.
Almost in the same place as you, though, believe it or not. But go on. At the time.
So, at the time I had a hot box, right? And I used to watch the pay-per-views.
didn't?
And, ow. Anyway, it was Cena against Rob Van Dam, I think, right?
I remember.
Was that EC?
No, what I remember was it was the Royal Rumble.
No.
We
It was
saw a
Money in the
Royal
Bank.
Rumble.
No, it
I
was.
remember
It
we
was
saw something.
It was
He
Cena.
cashed
Rob
in.
it cashed in. Remember, I said he was going to cash in,
Right.
and you're like, I don't
That's
like
it.
Edge. Remember,
Yeah,
you're like, I don't
I
like
was
Edge.
like not ready for that at the
Yeah.
time. At the time, right?
And they
I was
cashed
like,
in and
what
beat
the-
Cena.
Yep.
Which, by the way,
Yep.
if you think about some of the greatest rivalries of all time, I'm sorry, that's in the top 10.
Edge
I
and
don't
John
care what
Cena.
anyone says.
was a
That
great
is one of the
rivalry.
greatest rivalries ever.
in WWE history. Absolutely, that's a great rivalry.
Can I jump in a second?
Yeah, that's why you're here, bro.
2 weeks ago, the last time I did your show, you said they were talking about the wrestlers who have it.
Yes.
That guy has
It.
He sure
Period.
does.
He doesn't have to get on the mic. He doesn't have to. All he has to do is show up,
That's
and
it.
people went bananas.
And here's the funny thing. People knew he was coming. Like, it wasn't
Yeah.
too much of a secret. It was like,
Right.
more than likely
It had
he was going to
gotten-
be
It
there.
had gotten out, but the fact that the reaffirmation as soon as
Look,
he
I'll be
appeared-
honest with you right now. Us
Amazing.
talking about it, I got chills going through my body.
That was great.
That was one of the greatest wrestling moments in the history of wrestling. Not because it was the Royal Rumble, not because it was the
great moment.
WWE. When you hear 40,000 people jump out of their
They went
seats.
bananas.
You know what's the last time I've seen that? Game 4, Larry Johnson hits a 4-point play
Oh my
in
God,
Madison
dude,
Square
easy.
Garden. And when the Madison Square Garden, the whole garden jumps on it. That's the last time I've seen anything like that, man.
Insane.
Hey, you know what's
that
funny?
moment.
You guys
Oh
both
my
remember that
God.
moment like it was yesterday.
Yeah, that was insane.
You know what?
When LJ hit that.
I was in the Bahamas,
Yeah.
and I had bet the Knicks in the sports book.
Right?
And you want to hear the
man.
laugh?
Good.
I was working in the legal biz, and there was an old guy who had been a referee for many years.
Right.
And he said, anytime Dick Pavetta is reffing a Knick game,
They just call him Nick
you're
Pavetta.
good for 10 points. And I didn't know this, right?
Nick
So
Pavetta.
Yeah.
I call him up, right? Because he knew all the refs. He had been a college ref.
Yeah.
From the Bahamas. And I'm like, Billy, who's reffing today? And he goes, Dick Pavetta. I'm like, thanks. Boom. 500 on the Knicks.
Tim Hardaway used to call him Nick
Pavetta. Yeah. It was the
He's like, if Dick Pavetta is reffing the game, it's over. Forget it.
Well, apparently, he hasn't reffed the Knick game in a long time.
No, I think he's retired. He was an old timer. No, nobody could help the Knicks now.
But again, for all the WWE haters out there,
Oh.
thank God Edge didn't show up at AEW, right? Which was a
Thank
rumor
God.
too. They would have just squashed the
It
hell out
wouldn't
of
have
that.
been what this was.
And you know, we were talking late before the show started, Miller. You weren't happy with the Randy Orton attack.
No, not the attack. I'm not a big fan of Randy Orton.
I loved it.
But
oh God,
you know what? You know what? You got the other guy in the ring. You got Edge in the ring, and people are going to go nuts. It wouldn't matter. You could put the Haiti Kid in with the Edge, Edge, and then people would go nuts.
But in this case, you got two legends in the ring with a history.
I will tell you this.
agree. I'm not disagreeing with
I'm going to
you.
say this. This is where they did blow it, and I don't
Why?
understand.
What's that?
when Orton is crushing him and pretty
Yes.
much hitting him with the chair and doing all the work to him,
Okay.
someone should have did a run in to stop Orton.
No.
Why do you say no?
Absolutely not, because this is between them. And I love that it's between them. Also, Christian is retired right now. I do believe you'll see Christian at some point. But this
Wouldn't
is not
it have
the
meant
moment.
something to
No,
you?
No.
Oh.
No, and it's funny, too, and there's nothing wrong with your thoughts, by the way, because Bart saw it today. I showed it for Bart.
Right.
And Bart's going, isn't anyone going to help him?
Yeah.
And I said, absolutely not. And I know that's Vince.
The dude's got a bad neck, and he's crushing
It's
him.
beautiful. By the way, I can't remember the last time I saw a crowd so uncomfortable. Because the Randy Orton is the master of making you feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Can we get some credit for Randy?
Yes.
He makes the crowd feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
Every move. And you can hear him thinking, too, wow, am I wrong to kill my friend like this? No, I'm not. And you can hear the whole crowd going with his every move. This guy stirs a crowd.
Doesn't it give it more reality?
You don't even see it?
Doesn't it
You
give
know?
it more reality if maybe Beth Phoenix comes running in, or
No.
if Christian Lee
because-
comes running in?
No, because Beth Phoenix's skull was cracked from the night before, and she commented on it this week in NXT, and she actually said this was such a horrible week for the family. You know, the way Adam was beaten down, and she's got the, like you said, she's,
All right, so I'm going to go back.
Very interesting.
Stone Cold,
Good
Mike
stuff.
Tyson.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
If they
Oh,
just
you
had
love that one.
if they just had their one-on-one just between them two.
This is not, but this
Vince
is a different
jumping
situation.
in
Look,
and
this is
doing
a
his
different-
act.
First of all, Tyson had an entourage. Neither of these two have an entourage, first of all.
Okay.
Second of all, with Stone Cold, anytime Stone Cold is involved, you're going to have security. This was not that kind of situation. This was two Hall of Fame veterans who were a team for a long time. Rated RKO, very successful. I love what they did here. This is about them.
Triple fusion
This is
to the
about
neck.
them. I know! How uncomfortable when he put his head in between the chairs.
So my point is, at what point does someone say,
How
"This is my
uncomfortable!"
friend, this is my
Right.
husband?
Well, don't you see him thinking about? I love how he sat on the turnbuckle and said, "Should I jump off of here and crush his neck and basically kill him?"
That was an uncomfortable moment.
Maybe.
I have
Oh,
to
the
say.
crowd was.
I was like,
You know what?
They had.
What
Look,
a-
I
what
understand where you're
crowd
coming with
control.
it. They had to do a run-in. They had.
No.
Look, you could have jumped
No.
off the rope and hit him in the
No.
neck, but someone's got to run and go.
Left
Randy, what are
him
you
laying
doing?
there dead while the crowd, you could have heard a fart in the upper deck. Beautiful. Just shock. In shock. Fade to black. See you next week. Great job. Great job. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. But that's me. You know, very old school too, by the way, to do it this way. I enjoyed it. I'm thrilled he's back. You think he'll make it through the 3 years, Edge?
Yeah.
He's got a 3-year contract, you know. I loved how he also said during his speech, he's like, you know, take the ride with me. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I hope you'll take it with me, which I thought was cool. Because who knows how long it's going to last. And by the way, you're totally right when you say, Miller, that he has it. I loved during his promo on Monday after the Royal Rumble how there's something about the ability. Certain guys can really look straight into that camera on a Monday Night Raw telecast, look to the millions of viewers at home and go right through their living room. And he did that several times during that promo. He's got that ability, that confidence level.
Well, that's it. He's got confidence, and it comes
what
through.
a pro. I hope the kids back there are taking
Well,
notes, because
and
there's
you
some
can't-
good kids up and coming in that company who will now get to work with Edge.
Right.
He mentioned that. Matt Riddle. I look forward to hopefully, you know, the Keith Lees, the Kevin Owens, who he's never really had a chance to tangle with. He's looking forward to this, and they should be too. They get to work with a legend. 11-time champion too, Mike, by the way.
Yeah.
Back of the baseball court. Holy crap. Holy.
But to get back to what we said 2 weeks ago,
yeah.
You can't teach it.
No, you
Either
can't.
It's charisma. Either you got it or you don't. You can refine it.
Yeah.
But if you ain't got it, you ain't got it.
That's
and that guy's
so
got it.
that goes back to what I said.
He does.
It's like I'm not a McIntyre guy, and I don't understand why he would be in the main event with an icon like Lesnar.
Okay.
But guess what? Everybody and their brother loves it.
Yeah.
You know the difference between sorry. I got someone asking me something.
Oh, yeah.
Last year when Rollins beats
Meatballs is sausage? This is what they're asking you? Close that thing. Go on.
last year Rollins beat Lesnar.
Right.
Fans just wanted the belt off of Lesnar. They didn't care who took it.
Correct.
Right.
This year, they want McIntyre to win the championship.
Right.
They're vested in McIntyre.
Yes.
And that's the difference.
That's right.
So, all these wrestling experts that consider themselves such wrestling fans or wrestling experts, it's not always about what you like or what you think it's what's best for business.
Right.
McIntyre is best for business. He's big. He could pose a threat against Lesnar. It's believable, right? And the fans want it.
Yeah.
Why aren't we pushing young stars? Why do we have to have Orton against Edge? You know why? Because Edge came out with 40,000 people, and the place went off the hook.
Says the people who support Jericho versus Ambrose.
Right.
What are you talking about?
I agree.
I'd rather see Orton and Edge any day at this point.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! Edge is back. STFU. I'd much rather see that. Ay, that's crazy. That is crazy. I think it's been a damn good week for WWE.
All right, well, we got about 2 minutes, so
whatever it's worth. By the way, can I quickly throw in Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne won the Dusty Rhodes Classic, and I love that team. The Broserweights, they rule. Yo, bro.
Real quick before we cut out, is it a work between
Riddle and Lesnar?
Riddle and Lesnar?
I don't think so. I think Riddle is doing everything he can to hopefully
So
one day
Miller,
get that match.
what happened at the Rumble? Supposedly Lesnar went up to Riddle and said, "Hey kid," put his arm on his shoulder and
What's
said,
the story?
No, he said,
What did he say?
"If you ever think you're going to wrestle me, it's never happening."
Oh, really now?
So
I don't
he
think
said,
that's
"Get
a
it out
work.
of your head."
I think Lesnar's probably a real obnoxious dude and
Yeah.
doesn't want to give this guy the time of day.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I would love to see that match personally. I think there's a lot of wrestling fans that would love to see Matt Riddle and Brock Lesnar go at it.
You know what I
that'd
think
be-
with
that'd be great.
Lesnar too? I think Lesnar's sick of making careers. You ain't making your career on me, pal.
I think
make it
Lesnar-
on your own.
I'll agree with that. I think
Make it-
Lesnar.
I mean, that
he's
could be
selective on who he puts
on
over.
who he puts over.
I think he's smart,
and that's fair.
I think he
Agreed.
realizes
I
I'm
would
not
too.
making money fighting Kofi Kingston.
No.
No.
Although he did go along with it, though. I mean,
What do you mean?
like
They squashed him and that was it, right?
He got to toss him out of the ring again.
Yeah,
That
right.
was kind of fun.
But I think he said
he didn't
now,
work with him though.
Wait
He
a minute.
worked
You
with
see,
him.
the one thing you didn't mention,
He
and
put Joe over.
He did.
He put Joe over.
But the one thing
who has he not put over?
But hold on, let's go back to the McIntyre deal. Forget about McIntyre just getting him out of the ring.
Yeah.
How about the selling of the fact that
Oh.
he couldn't get his feet because McIntyre hit him so hard he couldn't
That was
recover?
a great
He's stumbling.
Great.
He's falling all over himself. He sold them all the way down.
Sold it. What about how he put over Keith Lee?
Yeah, well, you got to
He
put Keith Lee
turns
over.
to Paul Heyman. Keith Lee walks in that ring. He turns to Paul Heyman. He's like, "Who the f is this guy? This guy's huge."
Yeah.
I thought that was actually Keith Lee. Great showing, by the way, this weekend. Matt Riddle, great showing this weekend. The young up and comers, great showing. There's a big future with this company. There's a lot of great young stars coming up.
All right,
so they're
well,
in good shape, man.
It's
Despite
about
the blah,
that.
blah.
It's about that time to cut out.
Yes,
I
sir.
want to thank everybody for joining in. Miller, great job producing as always.
Thank you, boys. My pleasure. I only have one glitch this week.
That's fine. The best part is I get to cut video, so it's really easy. It's
Oh,
good
cool.
stuff. I want to thank all the fans. You could catch Monty and Pharaoh every Thursday from 8:05 to 9 p.m. right here out of Rockstar Studios at the Village Connection Network. That's right. So Jim is moving the station up, and we're going to be moving around. Don't forget, Thursdays are going to get really hot in March. We're going to start off with Millen a Rockstar, which is the staple of Thursday. It gets us rolling. Then we go to Two Plumbers Talking Shit. Then obviously Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty and Pharaoh. And then we add on the #1 rated R show. The Dan Romano Show joins Village Connection Network.
Who'd have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it?
So
And if
now
anyone
we
doesn't know who Dan Romano is, Dan Romano is a owner of a pizzeria who actually does acting and won an award.
The Corona
Film Festival. And he owns a show called The Dan Romano Show, which has been widely known to have a lot of naked women on it.
Wow. That's always fun.
Hey, look, whenever there's naked women, I'm okay.
JR used to say, things are about to pick up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we had a feud going with him for like 2 years, but then it all works out well.
not like
it does.
2 years.
It all worked well. It's true. I mean, I'm not gonna gild the lily here. We had
He's not gonna gild the lily.
Oh my God!
I love it.
but we kid because
Heroes for everybody.
Yes.
Heroes for everybody.
But Thursdays could end up being a very, very hot day.
Remember in the 80s when it was must-see TV on NBC with The Cosby Show, Family Ties, Cheers? Oh, you couldn't miss it. That's what this is.
Yo, you know what?
Now.
I just was reading my notes.
Yes.
This is why I'm just a terrible host.
What'd you do now?
It's called Village Connection Media Live.
That's what we're called now?
Is that what it's called now?
That's what it's called.
I didn't get the
Village
memo
Connection
either.
Media Live.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's Village Connection Media.
Live.
Well, so let me read my thing. So you can catch Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty Nefaro, 8:05 to 9 p.m. on Village Connection Media, live from Rockstar Studios in Huntington, New York.
Home run, Pally.
You can also see Monty Nefaro on Channel 115 every Tuesday, 8:30 to 9 p.m. By the way, a lot of people are watching this week.
A lot of people.
Yeah,
Oh,
Stan Hansen
Nice.
was in studio.
Stan Hanson.
Stan Hansen.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
Saturday, Channel 115, 6 a.m. Channel 115 on Saturday, 6 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. And you can also catch us on Anchor, Google Play, Spotify, Breaker, and YouTube. And again, like I said, we've been added to a Fox affiliate called RTF Sports Network, where you can hear Monty Nefaro every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. So, again, if you go on those little podcasts, punishments will be rendered.
Severe and swift.
Severe and swift is the only way I work.
The number you have reached has been disconnected.
That's right.
Ouch.
That's right.
At the sound of the tone. Leave nothing.
This phone don't ring.
This phone don't ring no more.
Well,
Y'all.
it's unfortunate, but some men you just can't reach. Oh well. Carry on.
Who is that?
I don't know.
That's
It might
a
be
good
Sounded
imitation.
like a half-assed Jack Nicholson.
It did. It did. By
Half-ass?
No, like you weren't fully invested.
You know, Farrow's been insulted a lot. No coffee.
I didn't insult him.
I got no coffee!
Wisteria Hall.
I'm
second.
This is horrible!
What, were you trying to do a Jack?
This
Are you
life.
trying to pan the
This
lily?
life. A song you want to kill yourself by.
Pan the lily.
Gild the lily,
pan.
it's called.
What did I do?
This life. A song you want to kill yourself by.
That's true, but that,
No, this is what you're thinking. This is in the mind of the Pharaoh. It's not
Is
what I
it?
said.
I've
Yes.
already forgotten it. Why are you reminding me?
I'm sorry.
2020 presents inside
terrible.
the mind of the Pharaoh. as
Rest
Stan
in
Hansen
rest in
said.
peace, Kobe Bryant. You rule.
Yes, and rest in peace. Anyway, thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next week.